What's up, guys? This is Dylan. This is going to be a gear review today. We're here with That's Wild. I'm going to do some sleeping pads. We're going to go over a couple things. First off, this is the Aircore Ultra by Big Agnes. This is the Big Agnes Rapide SL, and that is the Klymit Insulated Static V. This is the lightest pad I got here. And these pads actually weigh the same, believe it or not. I'm going to go over the Aircore real quick. This is an R 1.4 pad. I believe they've actually replaced this with the Divide series. But it's pretty much the exact same pad. This thing weighs like 20 ounces, maybe 22 ounces. Might say on here, it doesn't. Okay. This thing packs absolutely tiny. It's a great summer pad. They go, right now you can actually get the Aircore Ultras on clearance. They're like $50 since they've been discontinued, and they've gone to the Divide. The Divide is about 90. This is the long version, the narrow long. This is actually my dad's pad. He's a big feller. He's about 6'5". So this works out great for him. I personally would rather, I'm 6 foot, I'm right at 6 foot, so it's kind of an issue for buying pads, because if you don't know, pads are 72 inches or 78 inches. So are sleeping bags, or 77 for the longs. And it really presents an issue for me, but sometimes I can get away with a shorter pad. That being said, these things are great. Super lightweight, and they pack tiny. I mean, you can see the size of this bag. This thing is itty bitty. It packs down about like this. The Divides come with an inflation sack. One of these right here. This is actually for the Rapide, but it's just a basic piece of material, two pieces of material that Big Agnes actually recycles these. It's what they make the pad out of. And then they put a little valve on here, and you just kind of, what I do is I kind of blow into it, and then grab the bag, and you squeeze it, and you pump the air into the pad. This makes inflation a breeze, super easy, especially on their proprietary pads. I've had really good luck with the pump sacks from Big Agnes. A lot of people complain about this, which I don't think that this bag is an issue. They sell a better bag that is supposed to be better, and you can use it as a stuff sack as well, which that's a nice feature. But for me personally, I like this pump sack. I think it works really good. A lot of people say it's too thick, too sticky. I don't have an issue with it. I usually put my sleeping pad, my bag, and some of my clothes in one compression sack, and then all that goes in the bottom of my backpack. That's how I prefer to pack out. So I don't have an issue with it, and I don't really need a pump sack that also works as a bag. It just doesn't really make sense for me, personally. If you want to do that, that's fine. They're $40 for the better one, or you could get these for $4 on Big Agnes's website. This version right here. I think $4 is a great deal for that, unless you just like being lightheaded from blowing up a pad. But super awesome, really lightweight, R 1.4. The Divide, the newer one, is actually a 1.5, which for being completely uninsulated, that's pretty good. I mean, I'm impressed with that. This is probably good for down to about 50 degrees, 55 degrees at night. Definitely a summer pad, but it is lightweight. We'll slide that out the way here. And we'll get over to these bad boys. Sorry, I'm inside today. It's about 106 degrees outside, so we're going to do this video in the living room, and we're just going to be happy about it. Now this, we're not going to do that one yet. This is the Klymit Insulated Static V. This pad here, It's black on one side, or kind of a gray, and about the exact same color as this Big Agnes here on the other side. Now I've had this pad for 4 years now, pretty much since they came out. I'm pretty sure I had this as soon as Klymit started being a thing. Let me see, if I'm remembering correctly, this has an R value of 4.5, apparently. 4.4. And now they have come out with a static V light, but there's some issues with this pad. And I mentioned that I'm 6 foot on the dot. So if you look here, this pad is about 3 inches longer, or shorter, 4 inches shorter than this Rapide. And it's a lot thinner, obviously. If you can't tell that, let's put these together so you can see them side by side. A lot thinner. This is a 2.5 inch thick pad, and the Big Agnes is 3.5 with 4 1/4 outsides, if I remember that right. It might be 4 and then 4 1/2. Let's see. It might say on here. Nope, it doesn't say on here. I don't remember exactly. I'll put a little bloop on the bottom of the screen. So let's talk about this pad for a minute. I have used this pad a lot. It weighs 24 ounces, which is the same as this Rapide. This is the long, or the narrow wide Rapide, 72 inches long. This is the regular size Klymit Static V, Insulated Static V. It's 20, I think it's closer to 22 inches wide, actually. It says it's 20, but if you look, it's actually pretty wide. I think it comes up to about 22. I have a tape measure right here. Hang on. Now we're gonna talk nitty gritty on this Klymit. At the widest point, it's about 22.5, but on the baffles, you're looking at about 21 to 22. And the actual length is 69.5 inches. Now, I don't know about you, but when you're saying that it's 72 inches long, that's very important. Especially as someone who's 72 inches tall. My feet have hung off this thing. I've lost my pillow, slid off it. It has been a miserable pad to own. This Rapide has been the biggest step up in my life. This pad is awesome, super comfortable. The Klymit, comfort-wise, aside from being too short, it's not that bad. For only being 2.5 inches thick, it's not that bad. But the kicker is it's cold. I have froze my behind off on this pad. It is so cold. It is the coldest sleeping pad ever. I wouldn't say that this pad is any warmer than that Aircore Ultra, which has a 1.4 R value. This is supposed to be 4.4. That's a big leap. I have been warmer on that Aircore at colder temperatures than this right here. All these, the reason for it, I'll tell you why. All these baffles are 4.4, I'm sure. But all of these spaces, let me get up where you can see this. There's all these grooves that they're about almost an inch wide at the bottom right here, and then they get a little skinnier. And then you got these little circles all the way down, and then these real wide ones on the edge. Everywhere that it's been press welded like this has no insulation. There's nothing there. It is freezing cold. I was down to about 20 degrees one night on this thing, And if I hadn't had a foam pad to put under this, I probably would have died. I probably would have got hypothermia because I was so cold. I put about every hand warmer I could find in the bag with me, and I just couldn't stay warm. I ended up just leaving and hiking back to my car because I couldn't sleep. Whereas on this pad, I would have been just fine. This pad has a 4.2 R value, which is supposed to be lower than this, but this thing is warm. I have never gotten cold on this pad, and I've had it down to about 20 degrees. This is a great pad. Comfort-wise, tremendously better. This is the 25 by 72 inch version, and if I can find that tape measure, and we measure this, it is 25 and a quarter by almost 73, so just a little bit bigger actually, and it is excellent. The valve's really easy to use. We'll go back to this valve. This is just the old school pop out, blow it up by mouth valve. Sure, you might be able to put a pump sack on it. I don't know how, but I'm sure there's a way. Regardless, this pad weighs the same, is about half as comfortable, and will freeze you to death. This pad, granted, it is twice as expensive, but this pad right here is awesome. I have never been so comfortable on a sleeping pad in my life. Big Agnes really pulled through with this one. All these lines in the quilting here are their I-beam construction baffles. It actually is a piece of material between either side of the pad, and they weld it individually on either side, so you don't get these spots like you do on here where it's welded all the way through. It gives it a great quilted pattern, and when I tell you this thing is comfortable, it's awesome. It's like being on a bed at home. The air core is really comfortable as well, with the horizontal baffles like it had. That's a really good pad too. It's comfortable moderately. It's not as thick as this, if I remember that right. I think it's 3.25 inches on the middle and then 3.5 on the sides. Whereas this one's 4.25 on the sides and I think 3.5 in the middle. Man, I'm telling you, this pad's awesome. If you're looking for a new backpacking pad, it's a little heavier than the Thermarest Neo Air series, the X-Therm and the X-Lite. It is a little heavier than those, but it's way thicker, still really warm, and way more comfortable. I actually have slept on the X-Therm a couple of times. It's not a terrible pad. I'm not saying it's a bad pad, but the Q-Core has vertical baffles. Thermarests have horizontal baffles where they go this way. And I just don't feel like that's very comfortable. You'll hear a lot of guys talk about it. It's really not a comfortable way, for side sleepers at least, to do the pad. They just kind of depress, and the other baffles will fill up a lot easier. Whereas on even the horizontal, the vertical baffles, they don't disperse as much. It's weird how it works, but it's hard to explain. But it definitely, you'll go through the pad a lot quicker. Another thing is, this pad is noisy. Super noisy. This one, the Rapide, is actually, aside from slipping and sliding around on it, it's not that loud. I was actually really surprised when I got it at how quiet it was. I would highly recommend this pad, and we'll just cut it there. Don't buy this. I don't care how cheap it is. Just don't buy this. It's not worth it. I can't recommend that to anyone because it's put me in a dangerous situation. I will say it's tough. This fabric is thick, and it is a tougher pad. If you're planning on sleeping in summer or early spring, or late spring, or early fall, maybe you could get away with it. But don't ever take this pad out under 45 degrees and expect to be warm. I hate to say it, but this pad sucks. I will put a link in the description for all of these pads. I am an Amazon affiliate, so there'll be Amazon links. You can also buy Big Agnes products pretty much anywhere. I know you can get them at REI without a doubt. Backcountry, maybe Backwoods. There's a lot of places you can buy them. If you go through my links, I might make a couple dollars. Helps me out a little bit, helps me buy more gear to show you guys and tell you my honest opinion on how these, how the gear works and things like that. I don't make much money, I promise. it's not much. But I do highly recommend the Rapide. Don't recommend the Klymit. I'm going to put a link for it anyways. If you just need a super cheap bag or pad, really quick. Honestly, the air cores or the divides, they're about the same price. I believe you can also buy them insulated, and I think they come up to like R3, R3.2, something like that. It's not very high. It's not as high as the Rapide. I'd highly recommend getting the Rapide if you're looking for a new pad. But I understand they are $200. Well, there's $150 for the regular size. For the wide or the long, they do go up in price. I know the wide was $200 when I purchased it. Do keep in mind I purchased all this gear myself. I don't have companies sending me things yet. Hopefully, maybe one day. Hey, Big Agnes. No. But I do highly recommend the Rapide if you can afford it. If not, maybe look at the air core or the if you can find the air core insulated. They did sell an insulated version. I'm sure they're discounted right now. I'll see if I can't find one to link. And if I can't find it on Amazon, I'll throw up whatever link I do find where you can purchase it as cheap as you can get it. I can't promise that if you see this video in a couple months, they'll still be around because it has been discontinued. The Rapide is going to be full price for probably another couple of years. It just kind of dropped pretty recently. I haven't had that pad for very long. And the Klymit, I don't know where I'm going to find a link to that. I don't even want to put it up. But if you're not going to be, if you're only camping in the summer, you go for it. But it's a waste of money. Buy the Divide or buy the Rapide, for sure. Anyway, stay wild, guys. Have a great day.